Thanks for tuning in to our virtual fraternity recruitment weekend for 2020. I'm Sam Keener. I'm the president of the Interfraternity Council here at K-State.
Hey guys, my name is Zach Hooven. I'm the Director of Recruitment for the Interfraternity Council, or I guess Co-Director of Recruitment.
I'm Carter Black, and I'm another co-director of recruitment for the Interfraternity Council.
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah, we're just going to get started. And just during the presentation, if you have any questions about anything, just be sure to type those in the chat, and we'll get to those at the end. So just starting off, I want to give you guys a quick overview of the Interfraternity Council here at Kent State. We're sort of the governing board of all the fraternities here at Kent State. So we give out a lot of resources, we implement the rules, and have a constitution that all the fraternities follow. And as president, I kind of oversee all that. Zach and Carter do all the recruitment and give recruitment chairs of chapters a lot of resources and things that help out chapters to be successful for recruitment during the entire year. So giving you a general overview of fraternity life here at Kansas State. As you can see, we have 1,400 plus K-State men and fraternities here at K-State. We had 500 new members for the fall of 2019. In terms of chapters, we have 22 NIC chapters. We have 18 housed and 4 unhoused. These are all facilities off campus, privately owned properties. So some of these chapters have chapter houses where a majority of their members live and some of them don't. It just varies between the fraternities. And as I said earlier, they're all governed by the Interfraternity Council. So looking at some statistics below, in the fall of 2019, our all fraternity GPA was a 3.2, and that's been above the all fraternity men's GPA for the past 30 years and counting. We had 30,000 plus service hours donated in 2019 and $135,000 raised and given to charity in 2019.
Yeah, so joining a fraternity and joining a chapter at K-State, and really just any chapter across the nation, you do have some membership obligations, just like you would, joining any organization or club at K-State. It just kind of varies. For fraternity and sorority life, pretty much across the board, these 6, as you can see here: GPA requirements, membership dues, campus involvement, community service, Greek-related events, and then a time commitment. These are all things that kind of go across the board for fraternities here at K-State. So yes, you will have, GPA requirements, and that kind of just varies depending on the chapter. So most chapters require initiated members to hold a minimum GPA, but like I said, it does vary. And then every chapter has its own membership dues, and there's some other finances that go into it. We're going to actually go into a little bit more detail on that in a little bit. And then we also have things regarding campus involvement. Some organizations, really do like for you to be in a club on campus besides your fraternity, as well as, a community service requirement. You saw there, Sam had talked a little bit about how many hours, we had donated to the community. We take a lot of pride in that. And so I think that is, a very important obligation that that our chapters require. There's Greek-related events like Homecoming and Greek Week that we do, every fall and spring that you get to participate in. And those are a lot of fun because you get to, interact with not only your chapter, but other chapters, both fraternities and sororities here on campus. And as you can see here, from the first 5, it is a time commitment. We usually are meeting every week, 2 to 3 philanthropy events that, you'll have to participate in and help out with each semester, and then also just new member meetings and other obligations that kind of go in, but like I said, that all kind of depends on each chapter. Benefits of membership. This is something that we take like a lot of pride in, is our scholarship. Sam kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. In terms of scholarship, we have had a 3.2 GPA across the board. In terms of averages for all men at K-State, we've been above that average for 30 years. Very excited about that. Being in a fraternity is awesome because you can have great leadership opportunities as well as an involvement not only with your chapter, but knowing people in a chapter can help you get more involved on campus as well. We talked a little bit about philanthropy and how you get to give back to the community and really work together. As well as building that network. You're here on campus to not only get an education but to help get a job, and that's I know a ton of different individuals that have, gotten an internship or a job offer, just, mainly, and a big part of it played into just knowing someone through the fraternity, as well as, the best part about it, in my opinion, which is building those lifelong friendships, that, you'll be able to, lifelong is such an interesting word, because it really is. I can definitely picture myself hanging out with the guys that I've been able to meet, for the rest of my life. And so that's through just like the involvement and leadership opportunities, as well as, the social obligation as well.
So kind of going into some of the social aspects of fraternities. So fraternities have events. So what is an event? At K-State, these can be registered parties or registered mixers between fraternities and sororities. What's nice about these is that when they're registered, members can attend through the fraternity, and they have to follow rules, and they have to make sure that they're doing certain things. So at these registered events, there can be no hard alcohol or communal containers. This involves kegs or just big containers of hard alcohol. We don't allow that at these registered events, and no beverages may be purchased by the chapter or coordinated by the chapter. And we also, within IC, we have the Social Responsibility Council and the SRC, and what they do is that they go and check parties and make sure that they're following the rules, making sure that there's no hard alcohol present, and making sure that there's not an overabundance of people in the party, and that the exits are safe, and that bathrooms can be found. We just want to make sure, you're in college. If you want to search for these experiences, such as parties and events, we want to make sure that they're responsible and they're a fun time, but a safe time.
Yeah, so in terms of housing options, as you guys saw earlier, we do have 18 chapters that have a facility or facility options for members to live in right away, but as well as 4 unhoused chapters. So these are kind of the 3 options that you're looking at here in terms of living situations. So you have residence halls, chapters, facilities, and off campus. As you can see there in bold, it talks about how, it does range in price from, anywhere between $9,000 and $12,000, and that kind of varies year to year. As you can see, just like a company or anything, prices do go up on things from year to year, but that just kind of varies and depends on the chapter. And that's for the residence halls factor. But chapter facilities, students live in these facilities, while classes are in session. The housing costs do vary, but something that's really great about our chapter facilities is we find that they are a little bit less expensive to live in than the residence halls, because they do include, a meal plan and other things like that. And then there's also, off campus, which some of our chapters do take that option in as well.
So as Zach kind of touched on, talking about living in a fraternity house versus living in the dorms or living in some apartment off, these are some specific finances related to the chapters that do have houses, since that is the majority of them. As you can see there, the average cost on that first semester when you're coming in is a little higher than it is the subsequent semesters, and that's because most fraternities will have incoming dues your first semester. So I know for my fraternity, it's you come in and you have a little extra fees that covers things like your pledge education manual, where you will go over and learn about the house, as well as a pin for initiation, these really nice pins you get to wear around. But then, yeah, after that, again, the average in-house cost tends to be lower than living in the dorms, and that those will also tend to include food plans. And that just varies per fraternity that you talk to on how many days a week and, what kind of services they all provide. And then, yeah, on the average cost for an out of house, typically most students do that their junior, senior year, especially in fraternities. A lot of them for the house chapters will live in those first year or two and then move out. And then all the guys you've gotten to know really well, that's kind of the expenses you're looking at per month on rent. And then, yeah, all billing is done through your individual chapter. This is unaffiliated with IFC. And then depending on the chapter, there are different plans that you can work out. So